guys, Howard here with easy blues guitar riffs for beginning players. Okay, so this is really geared to those of you who are just picking up the instrument. Maybe you've got a few things going on and you want to get better, all right? So what I'm going to do is do a collection of blues riffs. There'll be a part 2 and maybe even a part 3 or 4 to this, but for now this is part 1. And I'm on my Tele, my electric guitar, but I'm using a clean tone. So this can be played on acoustic as well. All of this stuff can be played on acoustic, okay? Now, these riffs are all going to be an actual 12-bar blues, right? So they're not just sort of random riffs. It's going to be musical, and we're going to start off with something really simple and then build on that simplicity and getting a little bit more elaborate each time, okay? So I'm in the key of A, and I'm going to do a 12-bar blues in A using one simple riff. Now, what I'm going to do with these riffs is I'm going to play them at tempo first, and then break it down note by note, riff by riff, okay? So here we go with the first example. Now you'll notice that I'm using a click, and I think that's really important because it really helps you to hear and define the rhythmic phrases and play them properly, okay? So let's get into it. I'm going to use on-screen tab as I always do, but I'm also going to talk you through each bit of it for those of you who might not be too handy at reading tab yet or maybe don't even know. But I would encourage you to learn because it's going to open up a world of music for you, okay? So here we go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move a singular riff, a simple riff, around a 1-4-5 blues progression. And if you don't know what that means yet, don't worry about it. You don't need to know that to just get into this lesson and get going. But if you want to find out more about that kind of stuff, there's a link in my description box below to my beginning blues guitar part 1, okay? So let's get right to the riff. I'm on the 5th fret on the 6th string using my first finger, and you want to pick that note twice. Now we're going to skip a string and a fret, so I'll be on the 4th string now on the 7th fret, one stroke of the pick, 5th fret, one stroke of the pick, so we have, okay, and then we want to move to the string that we skipped, the 7th fret on the 5th string, back to 5 on the 4th string, and then 7. So very slowly we have, to play that riff 4 times just like that, okay? Then what we want to do is slip that exact same fingering down one string toward our feet, okay? And we want to play it from that string. So we're doing the exact same thing. We're skipping a string, a fret, the whole thing. You just have to visualize it instead of being here as being here. So we want to play this. Play it twice there, okay? Then we want to bring it back to our original position and play it twice there as well. So we're playing 4, 2, 2. So let's do just that. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now what we want to do is we want to move to the 7th fret with our first finger on that 5th string and play the pattern one time from there. Again, so we're moving to the 7th fret now on the 5th string, but playing that exact same pattern. Then we want to move it back to the 5th fret, staying with the same strings, play it one time. So we're going, and then we want to move it back to that original, the first position, play it one time. So we have okay, and then we're going to form an E7 chord, okay? So how I'm doing that is placing my second finger on the 7th fret on the 5th string, and then my first finger is on the 6th fret on the 4th string right below it, and then I'm using my ring finger to play the 7th fret again on the G string. So we have 7, 6, 7. And what we're going to do with that is we're going to hit the 6th string open and then pick through the chord, just arpeggiate it. So once again, coming from that 7th fret, then we will have this. And you play the whole thing again, okay? So here it is, nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Simply repeat the whole thing, okay? So let's go to the next example now. What I'm going to do with this one is we're basically using the same riff, but we're getting a lot more color into it. We're going to use double stops, which simply means playing 2 notes at a time, and we're going to have more moving lines between the patterns, okay? So once again, let me play it for you at tempo, and then we will break it all down, okay? Here we go. So as you can see, we've got quite a lot more going on, right? So we're getting a little bit more elaborate. But again, you just want to slow it down and do it bit by bit, okay? So we start off with the same basic riff, but we get into some double stops, 2 strings at a time right away. So we start with that same first note, 5th fret on the 6th string, picked twice. Then what we want to do is take that ring finger and bar it across the D string, the 4th string, and the G string, the 3rd string, at the 7th fret. So you want to use the flat of your finger to do that. Then using our first finger, we want to bar across those same 2 strings at the 5th fret. But in addition to that, we're going to take this second finger and hammer it up to the 6th fret on that 3rd string. So you're going to go. So now we have. And that's a great thing to practice right there. It's a classic blues move. And then we play what we did before, 7th fret on the A string, 5th fret on the D string, and 7th fret on the D string. So now we have. Now what we want to do here is come back and play the riff again. But we are replacing those last 3 notes with a different set of notes. So that's the open 6th string to the 3rd fret and then to the 4th fret and back to the riff, okay? And that's the complete riff. Play that whole thing as a whole twice. But when you get to the tail end of it, instead of playing, we're going to move that to the 5th string so that we can walk into the D, or what is known as the 4 chord. So let me do that real slow. You can see the tab, of course, but let me do it real slow. fifth string. Now what we're going to do is play that same riff as we did in the first riff by moving it all down a set of strings. But again, we are employing double stops, so we're going to play this. So what I'm doing now is, again, barring with that third finger across the second string and the third strings now. And then barring across both of those same strings at the fifth fret. But no hammer on this time, just a simple. And then we play the riff as we did before. So we have. Okay, and then we're going to move back to that first position again, right? So we want to jump up to the sixth string again so that we can walk back into that chord, okay? Now I know you can see the tab on the screen and hopefully that's coming together for you, but let me play all of that nice and slow. Take it up to the seventh fret, just like we did in the first riff, but we're going to have three different walking notes. We're going to be on the fourth fret on the A string or the fifth string. So we're going to walk 4, 5, 6 on that string, okay? That's really important because that's going to take us to the 5 chord where we play this. So you can see I did that exact same riff that we did at the fifth fret across those same strings. And then we're going to play a turnaround. It's called a turnaround because it takes us back to the beginning of the whole thing, okay? And turnarounds usually take up a couple of measures, right? And this one's really simple. We're on the fifth fret on the sixth string, 2 strokes of the pick, third fret, second fret, first fret, and then we're going to play that E7 chord again. So that turnaround along with the E7 chord sounds like this. And then we start the whole thing again, okay? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play the whole thing for you again, nice and slow. You can play along if you've gotten it up to speed, okay? But I'll play it nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. So on and so forth. And the cool thing about this is once you get both of these down, you just string them together, right? You just play them back to back. So there you go with easy blues guitar riffs for beginning players, okay? I hope you enjoyed the lesson, and I will be doing a follow-up to this. And so all the best to everyone, and I shall see you in the next video.